Hello, Anita. Would you like to unmute your line?
Hi, Wendy.
Hello.
How you going?
Yeah, good. How are you going?
Oh, not too bad, thanks.
That's good.
Yeah, apart from my cough, not too bad.
Yeah. Well, you've got that, what's that
one.
condition you've called?
Bronchiectasis.
I nearly said that, but I wasn't
No,
sure.
it took me a while to learn that word.
I bet it did. It's a mouthful.
Sure is.
So how are you going with the quitting the cigarettes?
Well, I've actually gone to the doctors and got a blood test. So
yeah.
Since December, my last blood test, my white blood cells count was 17%. It's gone up to 20% in 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then when I Googled it, one of the causes of it is smoking, of course. And I've known that,
Yep.
So, yeah, I had a few left after I've got my results when the doctor rang me. So I haven't had any since 7 o'clock this morning. And I thought I just won't. If they're here, I'll smoke them. If they're not, no, I sort of like next time I go to town, but I'm coming to see Colin on Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah, great.
If I could just go without till Thursday, try to break that habit. I've just put a patch on.
Yep.
Maybe help me for the next few days.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to try, Wendy.
Okay, that's good. Well, what we're talking about today is all to do with habits, and smoking is a habit.
Yes, that's correct.
And so we're going to go into that in a little bit of detail today, but Colin's going to help to break it up, make it much easier for you.
Yes. And I went for 20 days feeling good after I seen Colin, but yeah, just that something made me give in and have that one, and I was gone again.
Yeah, it's the trigger.
It's not to do that again.
Yes.
My health, I've got to look after myself, Wendy.
Yep.
I've started making my own kombucha again and boiling up some gumby. So yeah, I'm going to do everything I can to improve myself.
Yep. Well done. Well, you're the only one that can do it, Anita.
That's correct, Wendy. I know that.
But it's easier said than done, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. I wonder who else is coming on today. I think Mary is coming on.
I actually went to a Reiki lady on, not last week, the week.
Yeah.
I think it was. I never really heard of Reiki. I heard Carol mention it, and so I Googled it, and there's a in Home Hill that does it, and she was brilliant.
Reiki is actually very powerful.
Oh, well, she did the crystal, and when it got over my heart, it never moved.
Mm.
Yeah, and then she more or less done what she had to, and I could hear her sniffling and carrying on and thinking, oh, she might have hay fever. And then when she finished and did me again, it went round at my heart. She cut the tie, and she said, Anita, I actually cried to see all the things that you have gone through.
Mm.
She's very good, and she sort of said something about, I could see a beach, but it wasn't you sitting there pleasantly, relaxing, nice view. And I had an episode at my daughter's place on Easter Saturday where, I felt like, she didn't want me there. So I sort of sleeping the night in the car, which I didn't sleep at all. But she picked up on that. It was like, how strange. It's like she knows what she's talking about.
Mm.
Yeah, so I went through a bad Easter, but
oh, that's terrible.
I sort of misunderstood. I think my daughter sort of said, her daughter was on the floor in the mattress in her room. I was sleeping, and she started talking on the phone, and I sort of cracked and went, I had expected to get to sleep, rah, rah, rah. And so, and all Kirsty said was, Mum, you probably should have slept as Sharon, it would have been quieter for you. But I took it as, she doesn't want me here, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Really, it wasn't really what she said. It was how I took it more, I think.
Yes, that's right. And, how we take things all comes down to our past.
Yes.
So if we take it personally and, you know, blow it bigger than it is, it comes down to, you know, past experiences that have been similar. And so part of, you know, doing the EFT is tune into those past experiences and do the EFT around them. So that you help to break that cycle.
Okay.
So I would just use that example, Anita, and sit down and write down where are the other times in my past where I've taken things personally, where I felt offended and hurt and all that sort of thing. So you write that down and you'll probably come up with a list of things.
Yep.
And then go through one at a time and just do the tapping around that, each one individually and what you felt in that experience.
Yes.
And as you do that, you'll break it down and you'll start to be able to see it from a different perspective. Because we can usually only interpret anything from our own perspective.
Yeah.
But it's like we're looking at every experience through these tinted lenses that keep showing us, oh, you know, I'm not good enough here, or, you know, there's some kind of tint over the lenses that colors the way you interpret everything. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes, it sure does, Wendy. Sure does.
So I would start doing that, because this, you know, when I talk about triggers, and even triggers for your habit of smoking, there's a lot of emotional stuff there that's behind that. And that's the trigger. There are all these different triggers that then cause you to go and pick up a cigarette because of the uncomfortable feelings that you've got. And your only way of calming those feelings down is to have a smoke.
Yes, I understand. One good thing about staying the night in the car made me realise these poor homeless people or people who can't get a rental, what they have to go through. Yes, terrible. And some of them are families living like that. That's tragic. Yeah.
Hello, Glenys. Microphone's not on yet. You there, Glenys?
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me, Wendy?
I can, thank you. Hello.
Hello, Anita.
Hi, Glenys.
We were just talking about how we can be sensitive to things and interpret things in the wrong way. And not necessarily how people intended it, but it's based on how we interpret it.
That, I understand that, yes.
And we all, including myself, can do that. It's
human nature.
It is human nature. We can only look at things from our perspective, and it takes, you know, a lot of conscious effort to think, is that really what they possibly meant? I wonder if there would be another way of looking at this. Because how other people are behaving is based on whatever's going on in their life for their whole life. You know, so for us to personalize it is really blowing it way out of proportion. So I thought we'd have a little bit of video coverage today, because we don't get to actually meet each other very often, rather than just the webinar. We're going to do that as well. So, just having a look, this is all being recorded. Okay, so we're pretty much on time. We can, 1 more minute and we'll get started on time. I'm not sure if Carol's coming on. You can just mute your lines now, ladies, if you like. There's a little bit of background noise coming through. Thank you. Okay, so we might get started. So today is all about lifestyle balance, and as I was chatting to Anita earlier, it's all about habit in reality. And Lisa's just joined us. Thank you, Lisa. So looking at lifestyle balance, is it supporting whatever it is you want to achieve? If you want to recover from a sickness, if you want to recover from an addiction, if you want to, whatever it is, achieving a goal, is your lifestyle supporting it? Or is it a big contributor to your levels of stress and anxiety? So I'm just going to quote a Chinese proverb that I really like. Be careful of your thoughts, because your thoughts become your words. Be careful of your words, for your words become your actions. Be careful of your actions, for your actions become your habits. Be careful of your habits, for your habits become your character. And be careful of your character, for your character becomes your destiny, whether you like it or not. So it all starts with your thoughts, then your words, the actions, and that develops over time to become your habits, and then that ends up developing your character. So what does a typical day in your life look like? I want you to have a little think about that for a moment. Perhaps you're somebody that works from a diary. I work from a diary. I couldn't function without one. And because it allows me to not have so much busyness in my head. We can all be prone to that. And so to have a diary so that you're not trying to remember everything that you have to get done helps you be more organized. So are your days filled with routine behaviors, which basically are just our habits? So if we keep doing everything via that routine that's not ever being interrupted, then we're not going to break our habits. Some are easily recognized. So if we look at some of those habits in our lives, some of them are easily recognized. So as I was talking to Anita earlier, smoking is a habit. But everything we do is actually a habit, right down to what we eat every day and the times that we eat and when we feel hungry, right down into, just about everything we do is purely habit. But so a lot of it can be easily recognized, but there's a lot of things we don't easily recognize as being habits. So if you're somebody that runs late all the time, you don't necessarily recognize that as a habit. But if it's something that's happening consistently, it certainly is a habit. And I can relate that to my sister-in-law, who's typically at least an hour late for everything. And I think part of the thinking is that they have it set in their mind that, I might have given her a lunch date at 12 o'clock. So she starts preparing for it at 12 o'clock and arrives at 1. I've tried giving her a lunch time that's an hour earlier. I don't know, she seems to always still be an hour late. So our habits can be negative or positive. They can be the guiding force that propels us forwards or holds us back from living the life that we really want to be living. So, when did you last take a look at your lifestyle? Because I'm going to tie this together with your habits. So if we looked at some areas of your life, I want you to think about it, your family life, and I'm just going to give you some examples of areas of your life that you might want to look at. So you could just jot these down on a pen and paper if you have them there. So just think about this: your family life, your financial life, your health, your friends, relationships, your career, recreation. You may want to add into that creativity. It might be spirituality. There's other areas. Whatever's important to you, you could add into your lifestyle. If you want to have more of something in your life that's going to give you more balance and more quality of life, then put it in there. So once you've written out that list of the areas of your life, I want you to have a look at it and go through with each one. And I want you to give each one of them a rating on a scale of 0 to 10. 10 being that you're completely happy with that area of your life. And anywhere between 10 and 0 is 0 is where you're really unhappy with that area of your life. So I want you to just take a moment now and just look at all those different areas of your life and put a rating on each area as to how happy you are with that area of your life. I'm just going to give you a few minutes to go through and do that rating. When you finish, just raise your hand. Well done, Glenys. Anita. Well done. Do you need a little more time, Lisa?
No, I'm all good, thank you.
Great, okay. All right, so now that you've got that sorted. So when you can go through that, which area are you the most unhappy with? And you can just unmute your line and just give me a quick idea of which area it is and what's your rating on that area. Lisa?
Health, 5.
Health? And what was your rating there?
A 5.
Okay. And Glenys?
I had recreation at 5 and creativity at 4.
Okay, great. And Anita, just unmute your line.
I actually had relationship, and that's a 3. And recreational, I'll put that down as a 3 as well.
Okay. Okay, so as we go through, I'm gonna ask questions to help you discover how you can help to improve on those areas. Okay, so look at the area that you're most unhappy with, and I want you to ask what would need to change in order for that to become much happier, to be much more in balance. And just listen to your own internal thoughts. So as you ask that question, what would have to change for that to be happier? Listen to the feedback that comes from your own mind and just jot down whatever comes up for you. And the next question is to ask, how can I? And the next part of that question is improve in this area. What is it that I can be doing that will make a difference in that area? And just listen to the internal dialogue and what comes back. So your subconscious mind is always working for you. If you ask the right questions, it will give you positive, empowering answers. So just jot those answers down. When you're ready, when you feel like you've got that sorted, just somebody wants to say something? No? Just raise your hand when you feel like you've finished there. Very good, Anita. Please, Glenys. Okay, so Glenys, would you like to share what answers you got with those, asking those questions?
How I could, mine was be more organised. This is for, I'm saying recreation and creativity. Be more organised. I could set up my office again, which I've sort of got out of the habit of. And if that is set up, then I can do my, what I would say, the thing I want to do for recreation was family history.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to make the time. I need to, as you know, schedule it all and just, yeah, make it happen.
Okay, very good. So it comes down to organisation for you is going to be what will change that for you. Well, and that will
in
change
nearly everything I do.
Excuse me, coffee. Okay, that's good. How did you go with that one, Lisa?
Yeah, well, as far as my health, like the food aspect, we're taking care of that, but it's I have a lot of pain in my body.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to investigate, more of the causes, allocate more time for exercising and stretching, and of course the tapping, which I've already started with that to go back into, dealing with some of the causes.
Okay.
So yeah.
Is the pain inflammatory based or is it an injury?
No, it would just be inflammatory based. It's just random.
Sorry?
It's nothing specific
Okay.
that I can pinpoint that I've injured. It's just, yeah.
Okay. So, so certainly the EFT can help with pain. You said you've got the food side of it. You've worked on that. It may be that there's some kind of inflammatory process going on in your body that needs to be explored, and that could be something, might be part of the answer is to see a naturopath and find out what else is going on at a deeper level there for you. So, okay, so you've got a bit of a plan there happening?
Yes.
Great. So, Anita, how did you go?
Okay, well, firstly, with relationships, I've always been, after my last relationship that was pretty bad, always like, not wanting to get in a relationship. But now that I'm getting older, it's like, do I want to be alone? So I think I need to go out more to meet people, to let people in.
Yeah.
Actually commit to a relationship.
Okay.
Yeah. And
very good.
Regarding recreation, I just need to start taking time for myself instead of caring for everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for a walk down the beach or go for a little walk or, things like that.
And just doing those things, getting out more, could be where you actually meet somebody.
That's correct.
So, all right, very good. So you've all developing a little bit of a plan. And so let's go back to moving forward with that. So maybe there's some triggers. So I'll just use the example of what you said, Anita, not wanting to get into a relationship with your old conditioning. That became your old habit, and it would have been based on the negative experiences from past bad relationships.
Right.
So there'll be triggers there that can have you shy away. You know, you could meet the most wonderful person to come into your life, but if you've got triggers in there that are like little alarm bells that go off if somebody starts to get close, you will pull away.
Yep.
So part of it for you would be, you know, doing some of that emotional work and using EFT to clear some of those negative experiences from your past so that they don't limit you getting into another relationship. Does that make sense, Lee?
It sure does.
Okay.
Because, yeah, like I said, I've never wanted to get in a relationship. So if someone said they love me, I was out of there. It's like...
Yes, because you didn't
where
trust
most people are the opposite.
Yeah. So, you know, because you've had those bad experiences, there's a distrust.
Yeah.
Because if someone said they loved you before and they treated you badly, then why would you want to sign up for that again?
Yeah.
So Glenys, what is the negative about being organised? What is your aversion to it?
I think it's that scheduling, you know, that being on a schedule and sticking to it. I don't think I'm a schedule person.
But it's really just about creating a new habit, isn't it? So it's going to it's going to take some persistence on your effort, some daily persistence for you to build a new habit of scheduling. So you've got to keep reinterrupting your old pattern to develop a new pattern.
Yes, I've got to make some changes.
Yes. And so part of that is you've got to set things up so that you keep reminding yourself to bring the new habits in. And for you, Lisa, it may be that you develop a habit with the EFT, for example, or habits with the exercises and the stretches that you know are going to help you reduce your pain in your body. It may be a combination of those. So it's just looking at creating the new habits that are going to help reinforce the new behavior to help give you the results that you're looking for. So think about the new habits that will support the changes that you want to achieve. So just spend some time thinking about how you could change or improve these areas through new habits that you could develop. It takes roughly 2 months for a new habit to form. Your brain has to develop new pathways, and it's only through the conscious effort and repetition that the new habit can actually develop. So, as I've said before, is set reminders for yourself to repeat the new behaviours each day. Remind yourself of the reward of what the new habit is going to give you. So, like when we did the gastric banding, that hypnosis program, for those of you that have done it, you know, we helped you set up a new set of habits and behaviors every day, but we also use the reward of the imagery of you being that slim, fit, healthy person. And it's connecting those two together and that repetition that builds the new framework for the new habit to become locked in a permanent place in your life. So the key to letting go of bad habits is to replace them with something better. So the bad habit might be you know, not getting up and doing the exercise, listening to your own excuses when it comes to exercise. It could be there's an aversion to the exercise, especially if there's pain involved with it. So it may be the matter of, you know, don't try to do too much too fast, go more slowly, build into it so that you're not, you know, bringing up so much pain involved, but you gradually move into it and it becomes more rewarding. So have a think about that. Is there anything else you'd like to add into there that will help support you in achieving what you want to achieve? So has anybody else got anything else to add to what they've already done there? If you have, just raise your hand and let me know. No, you're all good? Okay. So the process of changing habits to form old habits to form new ones starts with a craving or a desire for something. And the old habits have been set up with triggers, and there's been a reward as to why they were initially set up. So if we use the example of biting fingernails, maybe the trigger initially was boredom, feeling bored. You might have had a little tear in a nail and you just started chewing on it. And maybe it gave you some relief from the boredom. And so next time you felt bored, you put the fingernails, went in the mouth and you started chewing again. And so it's the repetitive process of that that can begin. No different to the cigarette smoker. So the cigarette smoker initially didn't take up cigarette smoking for it to become a long-term habit, but there was a positive gain from it. So often cigarette smoking begins in the teen years, and it's when we're most insecure for every one of us. It's the most challenging time. And so part of in those teen years is you want to be accepted. You want to be part of a group and to feel safe and secure. And so part of that can be, you know, fitting in with a group of so-called cool kids. To be accepted by them, you smoked a cigarette. You didn't initially like the cigarettes, but you did it. So once you've got that acceptance, part of being there is actually smoking the cigarette. So you had to keep smoking a cigarette to be part of the group. Otherwise, you're one of the goodies or the sporties or whatever they want to call themselves. So, but the repetition of doing that repeatedly, because you get a comfortable feeling when you're with that group, because there's a similarity now between you. And so that similarity, that sense of comfort in that group helps to calm and relax you, so that every time you have a cigarette now, you're starting to get that conditioning that when you have a cigarette, you calm and relax yourself and you feel more comfortable. The trigger can be an uncomfortable feeling in your body then. So every time you get that sense of uncomfortableness, and it depends on whatever situation you're in, then you look for the cigarette to actually help to calm that discomfort that you're feeling inside. So that's how, you know, a lot of these things begin. So if you think about a habit that you want to break, so I'd like you all to think about what's a habit that you would like to break, what's a bad habit that's not serving you and helping you achieve what you want to achieve. So part of me working on this at the moment for myself internally is I want to break the habit of just getting up and, getting breakfast and doing all the things that you do as a mother and as a woman, and going into, I want to take more time for me. So that means I go and do meditation and do my exercise. I put me first rather than second. And so that's the habit I'm working on breaking for myself now. So what's the initial trigger that prompts you to take the action? So part of it for me is part of my health recovery is putting more of me back into my life and making myself a priority. So what is the reward that I'm craving through that is actually better health. So Lisa, you mentioned that you're looking for better health. You're wanting less pain. So it might be that you make yourself more of a priority and you decide when and where you and what times a day you do that. But it might be part of you breaking up some of those routines so that you become more important in your own life. So that may not be relevant to you. I know it's relevant to myself. So just have a little think about it and think about what new habits and what old habits you'd like to let go of, and what are the new habits you'd like to replace them with that's going to help you achieve your goals. So just take a moment to think about that now, because you want habits that are going to support you achieving what you want to achieve. So even with you, Glenys, with, being more organised, what's that going to take? How can you build new habits around that? And is there other old habits you need to let go of in order for that to develop? So just take a few minutes to think about that, jot down any notes. And when you're finished, just raise your hand to let me know. Very good, Glenys.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need any more time, Lisa?
No.
Okay, great. So how did you each go with that? So Lisa, would you like to start?
Getting up early. There's a couple of mornings a week that I have to be at work very early, so I wouldn't do it those days. But getting up earlier on the other days, and yeah, doing that. I did it for a little while, but obviously I didn't create the habit. It didn't stick. But yeah, doing stretching, and even doing some of the EFT at that time. And then again, blocking out some time of an evening on the days that I don't get to do it in the morning, so that it becomes a daily habit.
Great. Very good. Is there any older habits that you need to let go
of? I'm sure there is.
You would like to let go of?
Just procrastinating.
Okay. One of the best ways to help get rid of procrastination is use the 5-second rule. I don't know if I've mentioned that before to you, Lisa, but it was a really good book written by Mel Robbins. And it's the 5-second rule, and it really helps you break a habit of procrastination. So it's very inspiring, and that might be something. I loved it as an audio book, and that's something you might want to listen to while you're actually doing your stretching, because it'll really motivate you as well.
Yep.
Okay, so how did you go with that, Anita?
Sorry. Okay, well, yeah, getting back to what bad habits or old habits that I need to break is still the smoking, I think, and probably eating properly. Procrastination, which is a bad one for me, but I think I need to do EFT daily, a few times a day, take more time to actually prepare my meals and, think ahead of what I am going to eat for the next couple of days.
Very good. Okay. So what I advise you to do, it's a bit like Lisa said, she's going to get up earlier. So, plan to be successful. So set your alarm, decide what days, what days you can manage that to get up earlier. Be prepared the night before. And the procrastination, when the alarm goes off, it's just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, which is the 5-second rule, and you just get up and do it. You don't allow your mind to talk yourself out of doing it. But the same thing goes for you with the smoking, Anita, and doing the, the food prep, like really, if you want to create better meals for yourself, part of it is valuing yourself, that you're worth the effort and the time, but also planning ahead to make sure that you've got the ingredients in the house to ensure that you're eating much more healthily. The EFT daily, so set aside some time each day that you develop that habit, and you could set the alarm on your phone or just an alarm in the house that goes off at a certain time every day to remind you to do the EFT. Because otherwise we just keep doing what we've always done, and as much as you might want to create the habit of doing the EFT each day, it just won't get started, won't get off the ground unless you actually keep interrupting your old conditioning. You could have reminders around the house, but I find something that really interrupts you is going to be the most effective until it starts to become more ingrained for you to just do it.
Right.
So when it comes to eating properly, you could start with like a little bit of a menu plan to start with, and you make sure all those foods are in the house. And as much as, we can all be lazy, I don't feel like going to that much effort. It's like, no, I'm just going to do it because I'm actually worth it. And so your internal dialogue has to change. So, I'm worth the effort. I'm going to do this. I'm going to create these healthy meals for me because I actually am worth it. So you just keep reinforcing the new dialogue that has to come in, which is part of that change. So how did you go with all that, Glenys?
I'm a very, as you know, procrastinator. I'm looking for a distraction. I have a new game on my iPad, so I will sit there and do that. And I think, oh yeah, I'll do that. I'll go do that any minute now, and I don't. I know about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 go, but I don't always use it, as you know. And I need to be more consistent and not lazy, because living by yourself, if I don't want to do the dishes, I don't. So I'm not even into habits of, putting the dishwasher on every night or making sure the sink isn't full of dishes when I go to bed. So you work and you catch it. I'm in catch-up mode the whole time, aren't I? Because
yes.
I'm not being consistent, and therefore I'm in catch-up mode in every part of my life, probably. Yes.
Okay.
And it's getting me nowhere.
Okay.
Getting me nowhere.
So it's going to take some discipline. So
discipline, that word, Wendy, yes.
Yes, or I would suggest the game on the iPad becomes a reward when you've got everything else done.
Okay.
So that's what I mean by discipline. So for me, I love Sudoku, and so that's my thing, my go-to to sit down and relax, and I always have a Sudoku book in the house. I'd rather not use technology, so I'll use paper. So, but I don't allow myself to do that unless I've got everything else done. That's my reward. And then you can sit down and you can do it and be guilt-free. There's a very big difference.
Yes.
Because when you're doing it, when you know there's other stuff to be done, it just makes you feel bad all the time.
Definitely.
So I would set some very firm boundaries around the game on the iPad if that's where you're wasting time and procrastinating. I would look at other areas where you're procrastinating and, you know, whether you have to set alarms for things so that you keep interrupting your old conditioning. So if you try to change too many bad habits at once, it's more challenging. But if you discipline comes about from, you know, getting one new habit in place and you reap the reward from that, then get the next one in place so that you start to develop that and you start to feel really good about yourself because it builds a belief in you that you can be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you told the kids, you know, the kids have come over, they've tipped all the toys out on the floor. Well, I'm talking about my grandchildren, which they do. They've tipped all the toys out on the floor. And then I say, okay, it's time to clean out now, guys. And it's like, oh, it's like, so I then break it down from, okay, you pick up all of these, you pick up, you know, all the Duplo, you pick up all the, you know, the Barbie dolls, you pick up all this. So you break it down and it becomes easy. It's not overwhelming. But when we feel there's too much that we need to get in place, we'll just keep procrastinating. So break it down for yourself. You're no different to a child. I say that in the nicest way, Glenys.
It's okay.
You know, we have different personality types and some of us are easily distracted.
Yes.
Okay. And if you know that that's part of your personality type, it's like, okay, I've got to manage my weaknesses. And if your weakness is to go with the easiest thing possible, it's going to give you a good feeling, but it's only temporary. Whereas if you do the things that are actually going to give you more long-term pleasure and gain, then, you know, that's more worthwhile. I'm trying to remember a wonderful saying. You give up something of lesser significance or something like that to gain something of greater value. Okay, so that's part of what discipline is you're giving up those little things to gain something of much higher value. So you being much more organized is going to make a huge difference to your life, which means ultimately you're going to get more of the things you love, more recreation, more creativity, without the guilt and the bad feelings. Okay. So any questions around any of that for any of you ladies? Any area you would like me to enlarge upon more or give you more direction with? Please just pick my brain. If I've got answers, I'll give them to you. No, you're all good? Wonderful. So you've all got this nailed. You're going to have all this sorted next time we talk?
Hopefully, yes.
No, take the hopefully out of it, Nita. It's going
Definitely
to be done.
will. Definitely will, Wendy.
Done deal. Yep.
Done deal.
Well done. Okay. So why I pulled you up on the hopefully means that there's a possibility of failure.
Yep.
Okay. So just remember the words we use have power. And if we're using weak words, hopefully try, should, can't, won't, all that sort of stuff are all disempowering words.
Correct.
But if we use, I'm going to do it, it's a done deal. And so that needs to become your internal language.
Yep.
Because whatever words you use consistently is what you're going to bring more of in your life. So just be very careful of the words you're using. Okay, so I'm going to give you a quote. The difference between who you are and who you want to be is what you do each and every day. So it's those little steps that you keep taking forward to develop those new habits that will help you create whatever it is that you want in your life. So you doing that, developing those new habits, you're going to build a whole new belief in yourself, a new sense of credibility and strength and confidence that, you know, you probably won't even recognize who you are in a good way. So practice positive new habits and self-talk that's going to lead you to be more successful in your life. So let's have a look at some tapping. Is there an area of tapping where you would like to know more about how to use it more effectively in your life? So Lisa, you know, you said you have a lot of pain. How are you going with using the EFT with regards to pain?
I've only done a little bit in regards to pain. A lot of the other stuff's been stress and obviously avoiding things I need to avoid. I did go through one session, because I remember when that pain started.
Yes.
It was after the birth of my last child, he's 15 this year. So I then tried to think about what I was feeling back then, which, and I think it was a lot of, I felt let down by my husband, who didn't support me enough at the time. Been trying to go through that. I've done that a few times, but I'd like to go a bit further with that.
Great.
But
so
as
that's
far as other
awesome.
pain, other pain, I can't pinpoint where it started or what may have caused it, or I'm not sure.
Okay. So let's just experiment with something here, Lisa. Are you open to that?
Yep.
Okay. So I want you to think about the pain. Do you feel it right now?
Yes, it was there.
Okay. So if you were to measure the level of that pain on a scale of 0 to 10, where would you rate it at?
At the moment, while I'm sitting down, it's probably only about a 3.
If you were to stand up, where would it go to?
Probably about a 6.
If you were to describe that pain, how would you describe it?
It's sharp. It's in my left hip leg side. It's sharp, constant. It's muscular, but radiates down my leg sometimes.
Okay. So sharp, and it radiates down your leg.
Yeah.
So it's like a sciatic pain.
Yeah, I always thought that's what it was, but they did a scan many years ago and everything was fine. And like at night time in particular, I'm not someone that sleeps nice and calmly on their back, as they say I should. So on my side, and that, I get a lot of pain. So I am on regular anti-inflammatories, but
So it disturbs your sleep?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. I'm just going to try a little experiment with you. So have you done tapping specifically just on the actual pain?
No.
Okay, you can do that. Sometimes tapping directly on the pain. I don't mean the actual pain side, but how you experience the pain, and do a round of tapping. So we'll do a little bit of that, and everyone can, you know, you can relate to a pain in your life. It doesn't have to be a physical pain for the other ladies. It could be some other pain in your life, because we have various pains. So you can just choose something that you could relate to as pain, and give it a measurement on a scale of 0 to 10. Let's see what sort of change we can get. So Lisa, if you were to stand up, you said it would be a 6. So let's just try it with you sitting down to start with. So just go through, we'll go through the tapping. So tapping on the outside edge of your hand, and just repeat what I say. And for everyone, you can describe the pain in your own terms. I'll just get you to mute your lines, just so that that's great, so that you can say whatever you need to say relative to you. And I'm just using more of a global statement, more in relation to Lisa, because that's the target area that we're working with. So just tapping on the outside edge of your hand, even though I have this sharp radiating pain in my leg, I'm open to the possibility that I could let this go. I've been hanging on to this for a long time, and I really want to be able to let it go and move forward comfortably in my life. Even though I have this sharp radiating pain in my hip, I'm open to letting it all go and moving forward comfortably in my life. Even though I have this sharp radiating pain in my hip, I want you to just ask yourself that question, Anita. If you could let it go, would you choose to let it go? And if you would, just make that choice. I choose to let it go. It's okay for me to move forward freely and comfortably. Now going up to your eyebrow point, this sharp radiating hip pain. I've had enough. I'm ready to let it go. Going to the outside edge of your eye, this sharp radiating hip pain. I choose to let it all go now. Going to under your eye, this sharp radiating hip pain. I choose to let it all go. I choose to move forward with comfort and with ease. It's okay for me to enjoy my life. Going to under your under your nose, this sharp radiating pain. I choose to let it all go. I choose to move forward comfortably and easily in life. Going to under your lips, this sharp radiating pain. I choose to let it all go. Going down to your collarbone point, this sharp radiating pain. I choose to let it all go. I choose to move forward freely and comfortably in my life. Going to under your arm, this sharp radiating pain. It's okay for me to be free of pain, to be comfortable, to move forward. I don't need to hang on to this any longer. Okay, so just tune back into that pain now, Lisa, and just tell me, does it still feel like a 3 out of 10?
No, it's definitely eased a little, but I feel a tingling numb down my leg near my feet. I don't know if that's...
Yeah, that can be energy shifting.
Yeah, definitely something I'd continue to work with.
Okay, now we're going to do something else.
Okay.
So I'll just get you to stand up and see if it still feels like a 6 out of 10 when you stand.
No, that's a bit easier.
So if you rated it now, where would you rate it at?
Oh, probably about 4.
4, good. Does it still feel as sharp? Or has the pain changed in how you describe it?
Yeah, it's probably not as sharp right now. I suppose the position I'm standing in.
Well, how would you describe it? Is it still, would you say it's more dull or is it an ache?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that's what I call, you know, you've got the pain on the run now.
Yep.
So I would do another round. So even though I have this remaining dull pain in my hip, I'm open to the possibility that I can let it all go now. Okay, so you follow it.
Yep.
And you keep adjusting what you say relative to what your new experience is.
Feeling, okay.
Okay. So hips generally, if you look in Louise Hay's book, relate to moving forward freely and comfortably, which is why I brought that language again. It's about stepping out in life and being comfortable in your life.
Yep.
So there's been a long-standing, you know, as you've already recognized, there was a bit of a trauma when you were giving birth in that you didn't feel supported.
Yeah.
So when you think about that pain, if you think about that experience, you said you've already done some tapping around that experience. So when you think about that experience now, just close your eyes, tune into it. That experience being in that birth, not really feeling supported. Tell me, what's the level of emotion there when you think about it now?
Having a bit of trouble trying to get there.
Okay.
It wasn't the actual birth, it was sort of after
okay.
the birth.
So
but yeah, just having trouble getting there in my mind, which I guess is a positive thing.
Yeah. So that's basically showing that, you know, the EFT that you've done has actually been effective.
Okay. Yep.
If you're having difficulty finding it again, that's good.
Yep.
All right. So what I would suggest you do is do another round of the tapping if it's still there after we do what we're going to do next.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to bring in like a hypnosis technique now, but it's very simple. So I want you to, let me just see if I can get this right in my mind first. I want you to see that pain, and I want you to just project it out in front of you. And just, this is just in your mind. You can just close your eyes and see the pain out in front of you. And I want you to imagine shooting an arrow. So don't shoot the arrow yet. I want you to just imagine that you've got a bow and an arrow, and you're going to shoot an arrow through the pain. Can you get that image ready? Don't shoot until I say so. So you've got that imagery ready. Okay, we're going to shoot it through the arrow. And when the arrow goes through the pain to the other side, you're going to enter this feeling of just absolute bliss, total freedom. So you ready?
Yep.
On the count of 3, I want you to shoot the arrow. 1, 2, 3. Goes right through the pain, out the other side. And then you experience this total overwhelming feeling of just pure bliss and harmony. You're just floating. No restrictions, no inhibitions. Now bring your mind back into your body and just notice that pain. How does it feel now?
Yeah, it feels good. There's nothing specific.
Great. Okay, so just stand up and move around a little bit and notice how that feels. How does it feel now, Lisa?
Well, probably about a 2.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So just do that remaining round of tapping, even though I have, so is it still just the dull ache now?
Yeah, it's still just a dull in there.
Okay, so just do the tapping again on the outside edge of your hand, even though I have this remaining dull ache in my hip. Is it still in your hip? Is it still in the same area?
Yeah, it's just deeper. It's not, yeah. So
okay. Okay, so just tap on the outside edge of your hand, even though I have this remaining dull ache deep in my hip. I'm open to the possibility I can let it all go now. It's okay for me to be free and enjoy life. Now going to your eyebrow point, this remaining dull ache deep in my hip. I choose to let it all go. Going to the outside edge of your eye, this remaining dull ache deep in my hip. I choose to release it, let it go. It's okay for me to move freely and comfortably in my life. Unrestricted, free. Going to under your eye, this remaining dull ache deep in my hip. I want you to take a big breath in and just let go of the pain. Just breathe it out. Under your nose, this remaining dull ache, I choose to let it all go. Under your lips, this remaining dull ache, I choose to let it all go. It's safe for me to move forward freely and comfortably. Down to your collarbone point, this remaining dull ache, I choose to let it all go now. Going down to under your arm, this remaining dull ache, I choose to let it all go. So just notice how that feels for you now, Lisa.
It feels good.
Do you still feel the dull ache?
No, it's not, yeah. No, I feel a lot more freedom with my movement.
Great.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank
okay,
you.
So you're welcome. So Anita, how did you go with that whole exercise?
Yes, I went back to thinking about smoking.
Yep.
Yeah, usually I would sit about an 8 or 9, but I actually started at a 5 and I felt like I've gone down to 1.
Great, great. So the smoking is your pain in your life?
Yes, it is. It says with the Reiki lady with lungs, inability to take in and give out life, of life, or emphysema or too much smoking, denial of life.
Yep.
Yep.
And that can come about from feeling scared, traumatized by life.
Yeah.
So, you know, the more you work on those traumas, the more you're going to be able to open up to new life.
Yep.
Very good. So how did you go with that, Glenys?
Yeah, I did pain in my hips and my knee, and I had started doing that, like had a little mantra about the pain in my heart and the pain in my body, and I just got out of the habit this last week though, but yeah, that it's going to work for me. I know it.
Great, very good. Okay, well, thank you all, ladies. Is there any further questions?
No, Wendy, it was a great session.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I hope you all enjoyed it. So look forward to next time we get together. So it's actually going to be 3 weeks break before our next one. Just want to let you know. I've got a couple of things on. We'll still get the 2 sessions in for the month. So we've got another session, I think, on the 29th.
Excuse me, Graham.
Oh no, slightly earlier. So anyway, we'll catch up in 3 weeks. So we'll be into May, the 15th, I think it might be.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
So in between, have a great time, ladies. Keep up the tapping, and I look forward to hearing your results at our next session.
Thanks, Wendy.
Thank you. Thank you, Wendy.
You're welcome. Absolute pleasure, ladies. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you all. Bye.